missing someone? Oh, Steve. That's right, Steve. He's new but not new. Okay, if you'd all raise your right hands, please. You solemnly swear you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Connecticut, and you'll faithfully discharge, according to law, your duties with the Planning and Zoning Commission to best of your ability, so help you God. Congratulations.
All right, good to go.
All right, I'll get to work.
I'll do a roll call. Chairman.
Dave. Fancy meeting you folks up here. Very good laugh.
All right, I'll do a quick roll call. Commissioner McGuire.
Present.
Commissioner Chaplinsky.
Present.
Commissioner Britton.
Here.
Commissioner Coles.
Present.
Commissioner Locke.
Here.
Commissioner Goodrich.
Present.
And Commissioner Wolowski.
Here.
I'll now call for nominations for officers.
All right. I'll put forth a motion to nominate Steve Wolowski as chair of the PZC.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I have a nomination for vice chair?
I'd like to put forth a nomination to nominate Todd Chaplinsky for vice chair.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congrats, Tom.
Thank you.
And we have a nomination for secretary.
I'd like to nominate Rob Britton.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. Okay, and we do have a quorum. Mr. Chairman, would you like to take over the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, thank you. We all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could remain standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Dave, do we have to request a table for appointment of alternates?
Yes, we can pick that up at the next meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Do I have a motion to table appointing alternates?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved, thank you.
I do have one modification for the approval of minutes, Mr. Chairman. On page 6 of 7, paragraph 12, I noted that it was Commissioner Coles, not Commissioner Chaplinsky, that made the motion.
All in favor of accepting the minutes as revised?
So moved.
So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Subcommittee reports, anything to report? Todd?
Nothing at the moment, no.
Nothing at the moment?
I know.
All right. I guess we're going to have to work through subcommittee appointments moving forward. We'll carry that into the next meeting and probably into the new year. So with that said, we'll start let me start with this. This is the meeting rules and guidelines. Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Southington Planning and Zoning Commission. My name is Stephen Wolowski, Chair of the Commission, and I would like to take a few minutes to explain the meeting format. Aside from administrative items, tonight's meeting is comprised of two parts, the public hearing and the business meeting. During the public hearing, the applicant will present the application to us in detail, which will allow the commission members and the public the opportunity to better understand what is being proposed. The commission members may ask questions during the presentation if needed. Then we will ask members of the public who support or oppose the application to speak. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized by the chair. Once recognized, come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Please address all comments directly to the chair and not to the applicant or other members of the public. Be advised this is your opportunity to ask questions and make comments on the application, because once the public hearing is closed, no additional testimony from the public or the applicant will be permitted. It is important to maintain order and decorum at all times during the meeting. After everyone has had a full opportunity to speak, all questions have been answered, and all information has been received, we will decide whether it is appropriate to close the hearing. We will not consider voting on the application until the business meeting. During the business meeting, we will deliberate on the applications submitted to the commission and decide how to act on them. The commission may approve the application as submitted, approve it with stipulations and conditions or modifications, table action for a future meeting, or in some cases, deny the application. 4 affirmative votes of the commission are generally required to approve any application. If you have to leave the meeting before a decision is rendered, you may call the planning department tomorrow afternoon to get the results of tonight's meeting. So with that said, we're going to open the public hearings. Item A, SPU number 722. Let me hear from the applicant.
All right, this is new, Dave.
New to me, too.
My files, maybe?
Yeah.
Or your storage device there.
Do you need Seb to help you out?
Yeah. I'm not getting any response here. It's like, yeah. We're not getting any, you just put that in, right? Yep. Let's hold on for a second.
Yeah.
We just don't have any action.
Yeah, all right. Try again.
There we go. Forgive me. Dave, you're gonna have to come back over here real quick.
You just trying to blow it up?
Just trying to move it, trying to move the screen. I can't get it to go up or down.
Just, did you put like GIS?
I got multiple pages. I'm still old school. I like a mouse.
Is the system getting harder to use?
Yeah. The new computer, yeah. You scroll down. All right. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commission members. For the record, my name is Stephen Judas. I'm with the Office of Cole Civil and Survey, located at 876 South Main Street in Plantsville. Just want to congratulate everyone for being up here tonight. It's good to see some new faces, some old new faces, and our regulars. So good to see everybody here. I'm here tonight on behalf of a property owner who would like to redevelop a building at 5 Atwater Street in the Plantsville section of Southington here. It's a 2.1 acre parcel located at the corner, basically of Atwater, Marion Avenue, and West Street. And you can see this is kind of the existing conditions map that we have up on the screen. The existing building has been vacant for quite some time. Asker's Automotive is here. West Street is this location, the end of West Street, and then we have Marion Avenue and West Main that comes through the property. Our proposal, okay, bear with me. We're going to need a mouse on this. All right. Our proposal is to redevelop the building into a restaurant. It's a 6,300 square foot existing structure with existing parking around paved areas around the building, and then a gravel area, paved area in the back of the building. Our proposal is to redevelop the exterior and the interior of the building, add handicap and EV spaces, formalize the parking on site with angled one-directional traffic flow throughout the property. We are going to, again, formalize parking on the side of the building and around the back of the building. We're proposing a new dumpster pad, a fenced-in screened dumpster pad at the back corner at this location. I'm full of technical errors today, technical problems. Dumpster location here, and a continuous drive around the building. We're also proposing a satellite parking area for employees. This parking lot has approximately 15 parking spaces with a small detention basin at this location. We have proposed landscaping throughout this parking lot and proposed around our existing building. And we also have added street trees along the frontages where feasible. And we've added a connection from the existing sidewalk that runs across the property down into the parcel as well, so pedestrians can get into the site. The site didn't have any stormwater management controls on it whatsoever, so we have proposed stormwater quality basins, one basin at the location here to handle stormwater from the existing site, and then another basin at this location with pre-treatment filter strips at the edges of the parking to allow for infiltration and to meet the DEP's stormwater quality requirements. We've gone back and forth with staff on revisions to the site. We did make revisions to the plan based on their comments, and we also went before the Wetland Commission and did receive an approval from the Wetland Commission for activities within their upland review areas. We're not proposing any filling, but we are working within the designated review area from that commission. I believe we've addressed all the comments. There was one concern about there's an existing drive cut at this location that we're proposing to utilize, and that the site distance was a little subpar on this side. And I think between staff, we felt that a right turn only restriction on that exit was probably the best scenario for that location, and the applicant felt that was comfortable with that proposal as well. Overall, we feel it's an improvement to a kind of an eyesore. Unfortunately, my images, these are what the applicant is looking to, kind of a white facade with black trim and some stonework around the back of the bottom of the building. It's not an exact rendering of the building itself, but another building that he wants to model this one after. He owns a current restaurant in Prospect, very successful, and he's been paying us in pizza at the office, so we can attest that it'll be a good addition to the town of Southington. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have for me, and the applicant's with me as well, if you have any questions for him.
Steve, can you just walk us through, I know the river's there, or not much of a river, but, you know,
Still a river.
'cause you're putting the parking lot on the other side of it.
Yep.
So what is the material between that, and is there is it gonna be paved, is it gonna be walking, is it gonna be Trying
So-
to look at the map here.
Yeah, so the river, the 8 Mile River runs right through this white area here, and the green area are the wetland corridor that runs along with the river. The topography from the parking lot that we have, slopes down to the wetland. There's a culvert at this location that goes under Marion Avenue and to the other side of the street. And there's an existing sidewalk that we'll be utilizing to access from this parking lot to this building. Our intention for this parking lot is really for employee parking. So they will have to walk along the sidewalk to get to the building to come into work.
Okay, yeah, that was my question, if you're gonna put a little walking bridge or something in there.
There's a sidewalk there already, so we would just utilize the existing sidewalk.
Thank you.
Commissioner Coles?
Steve?
How are you?
Good, thank you. A couple questions also on that parking lot. I didn't see it. If you can just point out where the lighting is gonna be over there?
We're not proposing any lighting on that side.
So staff will go over there at the end of the shift, late at night, and there's not gonna be any lights?
Well,
What's the street light situation in that area?
it's pretty well lit, to be honest with you. It's an intersection. I can't tell you exactly where the streetlights are, but we felt that lighting would bring in some issues from abutting residential properties and just from connecting it to electricity. You know what I mean? Trying to get it, there's some challenges there.
I have some concerns about safety, though, with not, I mean, people are gonna go out there, it's gonna be end of shift, 11, 12 o'clock or something like that, and so that's my one concern.
Okay.
Second concern I have over in that parking lot is, and I think you kind of teed this up for me, the parking that is to the east side, those
These three
three
spaces.
bays or something like that?
Yep.
What kind of screening is between those bays and the condos next door?
We proposed a fence along those parking spaces, white vinyl fence.
Is there any vegetation between that and the buildings?
There is not.
Okay. That's an 8-foot stockade?
Yeah, it's a white vinyl privacy fence, yeah.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Chaplinsky?
Yeah, so for that same lot that Caleb just mentioned, Steve, is that used with anything else right now, or is it just gonna be owned by this restaurant and it, is exclusive to that?
Exclusive to this, it's part of this property, it would be
Okay.
utilized by this
All right, so
applicant.
there's no expectation of overflow into the Astlers parking lot if it's,
No,
really
that's what we're
happening?
trying to avoid. We're trying to make sure we have enough parking on our site and our property.
Okay.
Right now, Asker's and this piece kind of commingle, but we're trying to formalize it and maintain our use on our property.
Yeah, there's no, like, is there a plan for like a takeout window, or is it more sit
No,
down only?
sit down.
Okay.
All set? Anyone else? My question would be, is there any way that we can look at some kind of solar lighting or some way to get some kind of lighting in there for the employees? I think that's important, knowing the area. I mean, I don't think we can rely on the street lights.
We can absolutely do that. I don't think the applicant would have an issue with that.
All right.
And as far as if the commission felt that additional landscaping in this area was beneficial, then we would add that to the plan as well.
All right. I just, from a safety standpoint, I think there's got to be some kind of supplemental lighting in there.
Okay. That's not a problem for us.
All right. Any other questions? At this time, does anyone from the public have any questions for the applicant? Speak in favor of the application? All right, seeing none, is there anyone here in the public who's opposed to this application? All right, seeing none, does anyone have an issue with closing this public hearing? You're all set, Steve?
Yeah, I know that some of the commissioners were talking. What I said is that we could add some buffering, some additional planting along this property line if you felt that was beneficial. And then solar lighting is something that we could add to the parking area as well.
All right.
We just wanted to keep it, we don't want it to be overwhelming.
Right, it's an overflow parking lot,
Yeah.
understood.
All right.
All right.
Any further questions for me?
Everybody good? All right, so at this point, we'll close the public hearing.
Thank you.
You're still up? Let's see.
jump to the next.
We're
one.
going to jump to the next one, okay. We're going to move to item B, proposed zoning text amendment for revisions to sections 4 and 6 of the zoning regulations concerning age-restricted cluster housing and signage, ZA 621. Mr. Hammersley.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. My name is Bob Hammersley. I'm at 358 Hobart Street in Southington, Connecticut. First of all, congratulations on everybody. I think I've congratulated everyone individually, but I'll say it publicly and in a group. It's good to see you all here tonight. And it's not to single anybody out, but I will, but it is especially good to see Commissioner Loxbeer back here again. A good friend and a very capable commissioner, and I'm glad that she's here, and I'm glad for the town that she's here, as I am with everybody else who's here, so congratulations. So this proposal that's in front of you represents some work that I had been working on when I was sitting in your seat for the last couple of years to address an issue that was being brought to my attention by a number of residents in town. And the issue is that we do allow for age-restricted cluster housing, or ARCH zone, section 4D, I think it is, of the, or 4E of our zoning regulations, provides for age-restricted cluster housing, which, as you know, is a floating zone. And what the issue that was coming up is that while we do allow for that, what's happened is that the cost of those units in some cases are financially challenging to a segment of our population. So I started to talk to staff. I started to talk to some other people who will come up after me, I believe, to talk about what could we do to try to bring that cost down? How can we make it more affordable for them, for people who wish to stay in Southington, to downsize perhaps, to move into that 55 and older community, but yet didn't have the financial wherewithal to afford a $500,000 house or higher, which seems to be where that market price point is right now. And that's through no fault of anybody, it's just what it is, and that's the way it was done. The end result is the proposed zone text amendment that you have, or at least the first part of the zone text amendment that you have in front of you today. I'll just go quickly and just mention that our 2016 Plan of Conservation and Development recognized that we have an aging population in Southington. And from that Plan of Conservation and Development in 2017, I believe, this body adopted what's called the ARCH zone, the age-restricted cluster housing zone, which allows for greater density, the trade-off being that it's restricted to 55 and older people, and also there's a number of caveats that are included in there, one of which is that 10% of that development needs to be set aside to be affordable housing as recognized by the state of Connecticut. Over the last roughly 9 years, this commission, with many of you being a part of that, we had approved 104 units of age-restricted cluster housing in the town of Southington, which I think is a real feather in our cap of saying that we've done something to address our Plan of Conservation and Development. As you know, we are going through a revision of our Plan of Conservation and Development right now, and that too recognizes that we have an aging population in Southington. Just to point to some statistics, according to a study that was done by our consultant on that POCD revision, the retirement age / seniors portion of our population has increased by 29% and represents 22% of the town's population moving forward. And I'm just going to quote real quick: Southington's population is largely aging in place, driven by aging of generational cohorts of varying sizes rather than in or out migration. The town will continue to get older as the large retirement senior population group ages in place. So that's what that part of the zone text amendment is intended to address, is to try to bring down those costs. How do we do it? The way our current regulation is structured, it's only applicable to a minimum of 5 contiguous acres. So in other words, the site needed to have, as a sort of a threshold, needed to have 5 contiguous acres. What this text amendment proposes to do is to bring that down into another subgroup of 3 to 5 contiguous acres, or 3 to 4.99999 acres, right? Something below 5, to bring that down. It keeps the density that the current regulation has with regards to acreage. It keeps the frontage and the basic tenets of the site layouts all in place. It keeps the requirement that it have public water and sewer. It keeps the 10% set aside for affordable. But what it does in addition to that, and this is to sort of hopefully bring down the construction costs and ultimately the selling price point, is allows for duplexes on those 3 to 5 acre lots. The rest of the regulation remains as it's currently there. So if someone wants to come in and develop a 5 acre lot, they would do so under the way that it's structured right now with no change. This just basically creates this whole new subset to that group. I'm told through working with staff that in total, we're looking at less than a handful of different locations throughout our town where this would be applicable. And by that, I'm talking like 3 different locations in our town where this could apply and may result in upwards to estimated 15 to 30 additional 55 and older units if they were built out to their maximum. The second part of the regulation has to do with mobile signage. Last year, I was approached and asked for some clarification, my perspective as a member of this commission, my perspective on what the mobile signage regulation read. And when I looked at it, I was confused. And I didn't really understand. I knew what I thought it was saying, but the language really didn't seem to be clear to that point. So what I did with staff again on this was to try to clarify that language to make sure that it's understood that any mobile signage in the town of Southing is prohibited. The way it read before was any new, I'm not even gonna try to paraphrase, it's in your packet, I know, so you can all look at it, but it was confusing, and so I said, okay, let's just try to throw that one on top of this one and just to sort of get it out there for you all to discuss and consider. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all may have, and I ask for your approval.
Anyone? Caleb?
Hi.
Hey, Caleb.
How was it over there, the other side of the river?
It's a great view, Caleb. You should come over
Someday.
soon.
The sign prohibition. As it currently reads now, I think there might be some ambiguity there. But even if we're going to beef it up a little bit, who's the enforcement agency for that? Would it be zoning, chasing someone down in their city vehicle, or would it be the police department?
All regulations are enforced by our zoning enforcement officer. This would be no different.
So we're going to ask them to follow someone around in a vehicle and issue them a cease and desist order?
I don't know that I would agree with that narrative. I think that our current zoning enforcement officer enforces our zoning regulations, all of them. And this is just another one. It's really not even a new one. It's just a clarification on the current regulation that's there on the books, if you will.
Mr. Chairman, I think I can clear that up a little bit, if I may. Just from what I've seen in the past, when you say portable mobile billboards, it's not typically the ones that move it. People have them on a trailer, they leave them somewhere
Gotcha.
in a parking lot. So they're mobile in the sense you can move them, but not, transient, always moving. That's typically what I think the focus was on these, so.
But we do see those vehicles that, not necessarily here, but I have seen them, that just drive around and advertise some potentially illicit business that we certainly don't want to have riding around our city streets. So I just want to make sure that you're empowered, or our zoning enforcement officers are empowered to be able to put a stop to that if so needed. And I don't know if, if we can defer to the police department, because they do have different abilities than we do, to be able to address it. I think that this is a great thing that we want to do. I just want to make sure that we have the teeth to be able to enforce it.
Yeah, let me clarify, this is already there.
Right.
We're not changing anything except for making the language, what I'm proposing to do here is make that language clearer so people understand. I don't believe, and Dave can certainly correct me on this, I don't believe that our police department is in the business, or any police department in the state of Connecticut is in the business of enforcing zoning regulations. That's the role of the zoning enforcement officer, is my understanding. And I think that Southington is no different than any other town in that structure, organizational responsibility, if you will. There are zoning regulations that I could sit here today and give you a list of them from memory, because I'm like that, right? And I think our zoning enforcement officer and I think our staff does a great job of doing what they can to enforce those. I think it probably, and I don't want to speak for Matt or for Dave or anyone on his staff, but it probably gets a little bit frustrating because the ability to enforce those is, it's a lot of repetition, right? You try to do it nicely and you try to do it in a collaborative manner to get people to cooperate. They don't always do that. And then what are the mechanisms do you have to be able to get them to do it? I don't know that that's something that we're trying to address here. I think that's really something that the town council is more appropriate to be in line to talk to about that.
Right. I mean, I get it, but this is a good opportunity to at least raise the concern that
Sure.
we want to make sure that you guys have the tools to be able to do the things that we're asking you to do. So, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Hamers.
Thanks, yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else? Rob?
Hey, Bob.
Hi.
I applaud you for continuing your civic duty off the podium and in public eye, so good job there. So let's talk about, you said there's only a few lots that are available now for redevelopment. I assume they're mostly either vacant lots or a lot that has maybe one residential property on it, a residential home that we could probably look at. I like that you're tackling this, and I think we probably tackle this with, what are your thoughts on, we have tons of property in town that could probably be redeveloped, in industrial areas that might suit properties like this or developments like this. What are your thoughts?
So let me just address your first comment
Sure.
first. My wife will tell you can take me out of the office, but you can't take me out of being involved. So get used to seeing me. I'll be here as often as I feel like I need to be. And I applaud all of you for your civic duty and your service as well. I think that there are opportunities to be able to do that. And with regards to the particular number of where those locations are, you would have to talk to Dave. I don't have that with me, so I just know that there's not a lot of them that we're talking about. It's not like a wholesale change where you're gonna see these things cropping up everywhere. But regards to redevelopment of industrial locations or industrial sites, we do have a regulation in the application that you just heard on Atwater actually leans on that regulation that allows for the redevelopment of industrial sites. Dave and I have talked about that somewhat over the past year, especially with the closing of the I think it was an Ideal Forging site on Atwater or Canal Street down there, that was a rather sizable building. And I was trying to think to myself, how could we get that created into like an apartment type of a duplex type of a setup. We really didn't come to a conclusion on that conversation, but I think that's a great idea. I've seen it work in other towns. As I've said to many people, I grew up in Wallingford, and back in the 80s in Wallingford, it was something that was used to try to successfully develop some industrial buildings and industrial sites. I think it could be done in a very attractive manner. And I think that it really adds to the positiveness, if you will, of the location. So at its face, I would applaud that. Devil's in the details, though, so until you see something, I wouldn't really be able to remark on it.
Yeah, I'm very supportive of, housing for seniors especially, definitely a need. One thing I just, err on the side of caution here is, if we're taking it down to, 3-acre lots, that could be, potentially a property right behind your house, right? That you're used to having trees and land there. That's a high density of homes now. And I know we have to be mindful of the seniors in town, but we also have to be mindful of the residents who, who currently might have a nice backyard and who might be disrupted too. So I just throwing that out, devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So,
And so the arch zone is applicable in R12, 20, 25, and 40 zones,
40,
I
yeah.
believe. I don't think it's applicable in R80. So where I live, which is in R20, 25, not to take you literally, but it wouldn't be possible unless somebody can group together 3 acres of land, because we're sitting on half-acre lots out there. But I get your point, and that's why I was asking Dave to try to give me an idea of what's the number are we talking about? Because if I was in your situation, that's one of the questions that I would have, right? And so I wanted to know, what are we talking about? And that's the response that I got back. So where those actually are, I would encourage you to talk to Dave. I don't have that handy with me, so I don't know. But they aren't concentrated in one specific area. I know that much.
okay.
Right.
That's all I got.
All set? Anyone else? Yes.
Excuse me, similar question, related to the, only 3 lots, being, developable based on, this regulation. I think my concern there would be, if there's only 3, would that place a premium on those 3 lots, potentially raising the prices and affecting the ability to create affordable housing?
I'm not a developer. You'll probably hear from some after me, but I think that's a question that maybe they would be better suited to answer.
Okay, that would be my only concern with only creating 3 lots, would be those 3 lots that are created
yep,
would
got it.
potentially create, I don't know, an affordability issue just due to the scarcity of them.
Understood.
But I also understand from your perspective and your perspective, if you make it too small, eventually, that's going behind people's houses, et cetera. But I support the idea of this. I do believe that we need more affordable housing for seniors. My only concern was just, that scarcity, I guess I would say,
Yeah.
with creating 3 lots that fall into this category.
Again, they would be better situated. They're the people who actually put the money in, take the risk, and end up reaping any reward from it afterwards. So they would be better suited to answer that question than I would be able to.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure that it does, but again, I would encourage you to ask them that.
Anyone else?
I expect nothing less than a grilling, my friends, because I would do the same thing, so keep it coming.
We wouldn't feel right, Bob, if we didn't ask questions.
Yeah, no, right, excellent.
I have a question.
You're paying
regarding-
attention, is what it
Yeah,
shows me,
exactly,
yeah.
right. I have a question regarding the signage, but I think I know the answer, but I just want to get some clarity. So, the mobile billboards, do those pertain only to billboards that are supporting businesses, or could they be other, issues such as, like, I think back, I don't forget how many years ago it was, but there was, I don't use names, but there's a family in town that had one of their family members that had a very unfortunate circumstance. I know there was a truck that was driving around with kind of like a supportive message on it, that I don't think like people would have been annoyed about per se, but I'm assuming that would fall under the same, just no, mobile billboards driving around, or would that only be for, promoting business?
So the regulation as it reads right now talks about trailer-mounted signs or similar mobile billboards, not including political signs. As for the definition of what that means, and trying to, I'll use the word guess for lack of a better word, at what you're driving at, I think it would apply. But at the same time, I think if we're talking about a one-off, where someone's doing it for a day or two,
Yeah, that's what,
there's not going to be you know, and I don't want to speak for Dave or his staff, but I don't think that that would constitute a problem, if you will. I think that's more of a case-by-case basis, and you're looking at that. I think this is more geared at trailer-mounted signs that park in parking lots and leave it there for an extended period of time. We prohibit billboards in our town, I believe, Dave, yes? And I think that this is just an extension of that prohibition. So if you look under the sign regulations, we have a list of prohibited signs. This one, as it reads right now, you can see is there as it's written. And again, I'm just trying to clarify it because it was a little bit confusing, although I think that the intent of it is as it reads under this proposal. And that's really what I was trying to drive at, trying to clarify, if you will, the intent into the actual language.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks.
Is that everyone? Everybody good? Dave, I'd like to comment on the sign issue.
Sure.
So, according to our current regs, 6A-8, prohibited signs, number 1 listed as billboards, number 6, and I believe this is the purpose of what you're trying to do, is remove any new portable trailer. It doesn't, if they're not allowed, we don't need any new. What's the theatrics back there, sir? I'm asking you to just stop the theatrics. If you'll get your opportunity, okay? Dave, so clarify, all that Mr. Hammerly is trying to propose is taking out any new.
Correct, Mr. Chairman. It's
So he's
consistent.
taking out any new, which is rhetorical, which is redundant in the fact that they're not allowed to begin with. And so a lot of things are being discussed that is unnecessary because they're not allowed to begin with. Am I correct?
Yes, it's
Thank
for
you.
consistency.
Thank you. All right, and then in regards to the parcels for the arch zone, you said there's approximately 3 lots. Just to correct the commissioner, not 3 parcels, there's 3 parcels, not 3 lots, correct?
Yes, and in that same vein, just for clarification, that doesn't mean you can't subdivide a parcel to make a 3 to 5 acre lot, but as it stands according to the GIS and IT department helped me out trying to whittle it down, the parcels with water and sewer available and the adequate frontage, it's about 3 parcels. So,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. And with that said, you alluded to, you're not sure where they are. I'm sure, do you know where these parcels are located, Dave?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to
I
share
can
that
give
with
you-
us?
I can give you the streets. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
give
the
you
streets is fine.
Yeah, Old Turnpike Road, Buckland Street, and Lazy Lane.
Okay. So areas that seem conducive to this type of housing. All right. That's it for me. Thank you, sir. Anyone have any other additional questions before we open it up to members of the public?
Thank you all. Thank
All
you
right.
all. Yep.
I'd like to open up to members of the public that are here to speak in favor of this application. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and fellow commissioners. Mark Lovely, President of Lovely Development with offices at 710 Main Street, Plantsville. I'd like to start off by thanking Bob Hammersley for all of his time on our commission, the Planning and Zoning Commission. He's been there a long time, and his dedication to the town, so I'd like to thank him for all that time he's spent. I'd like to welcome all the new commissioners and the commissioners with their elections this year. You guys did a great job. I'm not sure if all of you know this, but I worked with Rob Phillips, our previous town planner, back in late 2017, 2018, to write this regulation. Reason we did is because I had so many seniors calling my office and coming to see me saying, listen, can you please design something that is a ranch-style home? We want to downsize. There's nothing in town to do that. So I brought it to Rob. We sat down, we wrote the regulations, and did that. So in the meantime, COVID has hit. The cost of roads have gone up about 100%. The cost to build these homes have gone up about $80,000 to $90,000. So what's ended up happening with doing this, now when we first wrote this regulations, these homes started at $359,900. Now they're starting at about $519,900, just because of the escalation cost in these in the homes. So now what I'm getting, and we've sold out Braemar Estates that we have, we've just purchased, Lazy Lane, the one over at, that Kurt Hollis got approved on Nature's Way, so we're getting ready to develop that. And I'm getting people coming to me saying, can I get anything in the 300s? I need something in the 300s. So with doing this, creating this text change, what you'd end up doing is you get these small parcels that maybe what happens, say you can get 10 on a 3-acre parcel. Well, if you put duplexes in like this, you could probably get 12 to 15. Now that does a couple things is when you're putting in duplexes, you have a lot less roads. It's a little bit cheaper to build them. Because you are putting them together. So what happens is you can start building these with 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a 1-car garage in the 300s, the low 300s. What that does also is when you get that density, it takes you from maybe 10, you would have 1 affordable unit, takes you to 2 affordable units, because after you get that 10 to even at the 12th one, it puts it into 2 affordables. So it's gonna help us get affordables. Right now, myself, I think my wife has about 200 names on a list for people that want these type of product that we can't get them. The other thing is they're great for our town. We have no kids in the school systems. There's no roads to maintain. And it's all just a great tax base for our town because there's really, other than fire and police, there's no real services that has to come with these developments. So that's one of the reasons I am in favor of this. I see a lot of people that are single people that are elderly that want a smaller place. They don't want that's 1,100 square feet, 1,200 square feet. And I think with this regulation or this text change, we can get to that. One other thing worried about maybe where this would be near a residential subdivision, these have to be on connector streets, so they could not be off the end of a cul-de-sac or anything like that. So they would have to go, come in from a connector street. As far as the affordability for purchasing these, us as developers, and I think Tony D'Onofrio's here too, would tell you, there's only so much we can pay for land. So, and when we, even like us, when we're bidding against a piece of land together, there's only so much we can pay for it to make it feasible. So, that we don't see a problem with in the future.
Any questions? Rob?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Ted, how are you?
Good. You addressed the affordability piece, and as you know, it's 10% housing, affordable housing. You know, if we build just 10%, we're just going to always stay flat as a town, right?
Yep.
As a builder, is there room to do more affordable housing in these types of developments?
It's tough because what happens is the cost of construction and the cost of roads are so bad today. That's the problem. I mean, we lose, like, I'll be honest with you, over at Braemar Estates, we're doing 3 of them because we have 27 over there. We lose almost 80,000 each house when we do them.
Yeah.
So if you, and even the problem is you're gonna have is if you end up putting more on it, and most towns are also, are about 10% that we're working in too. And they've realized that when you do put more on, it makes the land undevelopable. It's a problem.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commission members. Congratulations to everybody. My name is Seb Bovino, planner with Kratzer Jones and Associates. In regard to the proposed tax change to sections 4E2 and 4E5 of the Arch zoning regulation, I'm in favor of the reduction because there are not too many 5-acre parcels left in town. I would like to recommend actually that the acreage could be lowered to 2 acres to qualify for this proposal. In the meantime, I would like to take the opportunity to ask the Commission, while you work on the new plan of development, to consider allowing duplexes on 10,000 square feet of land. That way, in our 12th zone, with public sewer and water, 10,000 will equal the same as you allow in the Arch zone. So there'll be more opportunity for duplexes in town. Obviously, there will have to be appropriate utilities like public sewer and water. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
No? All set. Thank you,
Thank
Seb.
Hello again.
Steve Judas with Cole Civil, 876 South Main Street in Plantsville. I think the benefits of the allowing the duplexes gives us some flexibility. Personally, I'd like to see it into parcels over 5 acres as well. I think the duplexes also provide an affordability in themselves. You know, the standalone units are pricey. So I think when we add duplexes to this type of development, we can come in at a lower price point and make some of these 55 pluses more affordable to other members of the community. So I think it'll be beneficial, but I think in the future we should probably talk about the larger parcels as well. So my 2 cents. Thank you.
Tony DeNorfia, 36 Aspen Way, Southington. Again, I don't want to repeat all the congratulations and all the great comments from everyone. It's really hard for me to follow. I'm usually not last, usually first, but that's where we are. When I look at a regulation, I normally look at what's the upside and what's the downside, okay? So I usually look at the downside first, and I look at this regulation. I said, what's the downside? And I couldn't think of any except maybe, as has been mentioned, if you're in an isolated 3-acre lot somewhere and someone comes in and says that they want to build it, and you guys are going to have a couple of more public hearings because you're going to have to exercise your special permit of determining whether that particular use is appropriate in that area. So that may cover the question about what you do if it comes in a middle of a subdivision. As far as, and that's about the only thing I could think of as a downside to it. The upside, I think, has quite a bit. I really don't think in the long run it's going to increase density. Again, you have your density requirements in it. I think the biggest thing that it could do, and when I was talking to Steve, I said, Steve, this regulation doesn't go far enough. It should be applied in all of the arch zones, is because that's when you're going to get the most cost savings. If you applied it in all of the arch zones, then you're going to have less roadway, less impervious area, probably the ability to have more open space, again, as long as you keep the density as it is. And that's what we're really trying to do. Now, just remember that when we build duplexes, all we're basically doing, and probably what we would be doing in a zone like this, is we're taking the 2 units and we're sticking them together. They're still going to be basically the same size units. But what does that mean? I mean, that means that, well, we don't have to meet the minimum distance between, so we save 25 feet. That 25 feet of roadway, believe it or not, at roughly, and Mark, you can tell me what your pricing, but my pricing lately has been roughly $1,000 a foot. That saves $1,000 right there. Now we have common walls, and instead of individual walls that we're building. And again, that's a massive savings. And then you've got some more flexibility where with this less of a spreading out of a complex, more of a compacting of a complex, then you're going to be able to provide more different amenities. Maybe you do, more open space and walking trails and things like that. When this regulation was originally developed, I did not understand why they limited it to just single family, and I didn't understand why they limited it to just owner occupied, because those are the 2 things that I had the biggest trouble with, because number 1 is single family. Again, a lot of people don't want the single family. Yes, people oftentimes want the privacy of their individual units, but they don't mind having a neighbor either if they could save on their cost, say $75,000 on the unit. But again, that would be a housing choice that they could make, which is not available to them right now. And the other thing that I didn't understand is why there was this big restriction against that it had to be owner occupied. I mean, my family and I, we have, right now, roughly, I think it's 84 units in town that are, you know, the residential apartments for seniors, age restricted, and we constantly, they're always 100% filled. Because you get that person, I don't know about Mark's customers, but my customers, we get a lot of customers and tenants who, believe it or not, people want to move to Florida and down south in the 50s and their 60s. And that's when you guys who are not my age yet are probably talking about maybe let's get a place down south. When you get into your 70s and your 80s, you don't want to live down south. You want to live at home and you want to be near your family. And that's what we see as our biggest population shift, is the people coming home to be near their families. And I think when you get to the next phase of your plan of development, you should consider that, is that we're cutting out those type of people who don't want to spend $400,000 to $500,000 on a home, but wouldn't mind spending $2,500 a month on a really nice rental. So I would seriously consider that. The other thing that I really would hate for the commission to lose sight of, and I know that you often do, is that in order to have a very vibrant town, you need a mix. You need a mix of population. You have to have young people. You have to have school-aged children. If not, your town is going to die. And you can see that in a lot of these older New England towns, of which we're becoming one. And I would hate to see that. You know, I feel so adamant about that I did not move into a senior home when we rebuilt a couple years ago. I moved into a middle of a neighborhood that we built that, you know, every day there's a ton of kids that we hear out at the, you know, at the bus stop waiting to get to their schools. So again, please don't forget that. And that a lot of these things that are in this regulation, you know, about the configuration of the roads, the density and things like that, that could all be applied to a non-age restricted development, where the advantages of that for the town is, again, now the town is saying, you know, I know one of the big things that I hear is that, you know, the town does not want any new town streets because they have to maintain it and that type of bit. Well, believe me, as a developer, and I'm sure Mark would say it, I don't want to build any more town streets. We only build it as we have to, because the expense of building a town road versus a private road is like astronomical. So we're building a couple right now in a different town, and I swore to my kids, and I said, it's the last one I'm going to build. You guys are taking it over. So you really should look at something along that line as far as future development, because again, you want to make sure that not only do you want to take care of the seniors, but you want to take care of the vibrancy of our town.
Thank you.
Okay?
I think you got your points across. Did you have anything specific towards this application versus, you know, what you're talking about down the road?
I think I did. I think
All
I
right.
supported it in the beginning.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Anyone else to speak in favor?
Mr. Chairman, I forgot to add, one more thing you could do is consider reducing the distance between the structures. Most towns allow 20 feet, 15 feet between. Our requirement is 25. So if you go down to 20, maybe it will help that situation too. You have more open space and other things. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay, anyone opposed? Please state your name and address, please.
Pete Rapocchio, owner of Sign Pro here in Westfield Drive, 60 Westfield Drive. And thank you all for doing what you do as elected officials. We appreciate you and Mr. Hammersley. But I'll be very straightforward, as I am. And with a federal lawsuit in this town, I'm gonna be very careful on what I say. But Mr. Hammersley bringing up this mobile billboard trailer now, after Sign Pro parked one of their vehicles on a private piece of property, okay, considered a billboard, received an email from a competitor, an email, not a formal complaint on formal documents, as you're supposed to with town. Mr. LaValle received a notice and sends his zoning official out there on property.
Mr. Rapocchio, I'm going to have to stop you there.
Right.
You're not speaking in regards to this particular amendment change.
I'm
You're speaking
speaking-
about people and staff.
That's
and-
right.
And town employees, but that's not applicable
Because what I'm
in
telling
here.
you is that it's
I'm telling
very
you, sir,
vague of what he means
that
by
I'm telling you,
new.
you're out of order right now, and you're not allowed to address this type of thing. You need to be specific towards the zone text amendment change. You're talking about nothing
talking about the
related to the
trailer.
zone amendment change. The trailer is already not part of our regulations, and we're talking about two words, any new, is what the debate is over.
Correct.
And you're addressing nothing in that regard.
Well, I'm asking because it's very vague that says new. So my trailer that I pay property tax on in town is what, old? It's being vague to be how it's presented, because there's about 12 other trailers parked around town that don't have violations, but I moved mine the same day I received one. So selective discrimination all day long. The question is, what is the word new? Thank you.
Dave, would you like to clarify? No? Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Mr. Hammersley, do you have any closing remarks?
I just want to say I appreciate the commission's consideration on this. I long have been careful, and some of you who serve with me will remember this, to ensure that the perfect doesn't become the enemy of the good. And while I think there are parts of this that maybe could be better, if you will, I mean, I think what's proposed in front of you gets to the intent of what I outlined at the beginning and what the intent was, or the challenge was, that I put out to staff and myself to try to address, and I hope you all agree with that ultimately, and see a way to approve this. So unless there's any other questions, then I'll.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone have a problem with closing this public hearing? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. All right, now we're going to move into our business meeting. Item A, Jim Kalikinow, did I say that right? Proposed special permit application to redevelop an existing industrial building into a proposed restaurant with parking. Property located at 5 Atwater Street, Zone I-2, SPU number 722. Floor is yours. Oh. Do you have anything additional to add? I'm sorry.
Yeah, at this time I cannot.
All right,
because the
you're
public
good.
hearing's closed. When we get into the
All
site
right.
plan, I
Any-
think I can.
Any discussion up here with this?
Was water addressed?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, we can leave that as a stipulation as well as the right turn only,
Okay.
as the applicant agreed to that.
Okay. With that, do I have a motion to approve this application?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve item number SPU 722 with the stipulations that there is a right turn only required and the water comments are fully satisfied by staff.
Excuse me, wasn't there a stipulation on the lighting for the parking lot as well?
We didn't discuss that.
No, yeah, you-
Yeah, okay.
Is that on the special?
Would you like to amend
Yeah,
your?
I'd like to amend to add the stipulation of lighting along the walkway there with that additional overflow parking.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Dave, can you call the roll?
Sure. Commissioner McGuire?
Yes.
Commissioner Locke?
Yes.
Commissioner Coles?
Yes.
Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplinski?
Yes.
And Chair Walowski.
Yes. With that, it passes. On to the next item.
This one I can talk on.
Item B, Jim Colacanow proposed special permit application to redevelop an existing industrial building into a proposed restaurant with parking located at 5 Atwater Street, Zone I-2, SPR 1905.
So, Mr. Chair and Commission members, again, for the record, Stephen Judas with Cole Civil, 876 South Main Street. As I mentioned in the public hearing for the special permit, the proposed site plan is to redevelop the existing building. A few notable items, we did concede to lighting and I've forgotten already. And the other.
Right turn only.
Right turn only. But we also are extending sidewalks as part of our application. So we feel that our site plan's in good shape and ready for action.
Okay. Are there any additional questions, or are we ready for a motion?
You know, and I think we didn't mention this in our last action was, I believe that the applicant said that they would add some vegetative. The buffering?
Yes,
between-
buffering along that
I don't know
property
if you
line.
want to add that as language in here, just to kind of firm that up.
I don't think you need to stipulate, I can offer it.
Thank you.
and then- So I will say that we will add landscaping as part of the property line to the residential condominium complex to the east.
Okay.
And there was a question, I think, about water. The building is actually already serviced by domestic water and a fire service line. So we just needed to add that stuff to the site plan, and I believe we will be going before the water board shortly. So that should be all set.
What is the timeline for construction and such, assuming we
As soon
approve?
as possible. Mr. Olsnak has been waiting patiently on my office to get this going. And
Yeah.
just a few more pieces with wetlands that we needed to get in order to move to get to this point. So he's ready to go.
All right, terrific. All right.
Thank you.
With that, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve SPR 1905.
Second.
Okay, we've got that. Commissioner Coles and Mr. Britton. Okay. Dave, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner McGuire?
Yes.
Commissioner Locke?
Yes.
Commissioner Coles?
Yes.
Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich?
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplinski?
Yes.
And Chair Walowski.
Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you very much for your time and consideration tonight.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, moving on. Item C, proposed zoning text amendment for revisions to sections 4 and 6 of the zoning regs concerning age-restricted cluster housing and signage, ZA 621. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve item ZA 621.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I just want to add one comment. So, as the co-chair of the POCD Commission, I just want to say that I'm very supportive of this. I think, the town we know has a large aging population. Encouraging populations who wouldn't use additional costly municipal services, I think, is a good thing for the town. It does align with the POCD housing recommendations, which I think, speaks to some of the work that commission's done. There's no changes to the basic regulations, as was mentioned. Affordability is something that is really talked about at the national level, not just local or even state. So I think in that regard, even if we're not getting up to the required level of affordability, at least we're moving in the right direction. That's really it. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you. In terms of the affordability component of this, I think it's important, but I will state that we've got a good housing stock of naturally occurring affordable housing. We don't have the state approval on that, and this kind of is going to be more of that, but we are doing what we can for our citizens. So with that, can you call the roll, Dave?
Sure. Commissioner McGuire?
Yes.
Commissioner Locke?
Yes.
Commissioner Coles?
Yes.
Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich,
Yes.
Commissioner Chaplinsky,
Yes.
and Chair Walowski.
Yes, motion passes. Okay, item D, 628 Associates LLC, proposed site modification plan to add an accessory storage building and parking, property located at 170 Spring Street, Zone I-1, SPR number 1907. I'm looking for a table on this.
I'll make a motion to table number, item SPR 1907.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Coles with a second. Voice vote, or
Yeah, all in favor is fine.
all in favor? Aye. Okay, item E, Namtech Industries, lot number 1, proposed industrial building and associated infrastructure, property located at 25 Sepco Farm Drive, Zone I-1, and this is SPR 1908.
Last time. Can you just take it out and put it in again? We'll just click down here once you do it, hopefully. All right, you can put that. Second one?
Presentation. Okay.
And then we'll blow it up. Probably takes a minute. All good. It's in there, right?
Should be in there. Go to removable disk.
Yeah, it has it.
Yeah.
Has the title.
Oh, there it is. Presentation. Want to go to the other one?
Try that again. Oh, yeah, you can.
Try the other one. Are they supposed to load up? Oh, it's taking time. Doesn't have a lot of power.
This is full color.
Yeah. That's probably why.
No, it's way up. Mrs. Sepkila's farm was up by, Cava.
Yeah, can you put that in there? And I'll click it when you put it in there.
You ready?
Yeah. Try it again.
There you go.
All right, and then. Just see if I can get it. Can you work off of this?
Yeah, that's fine. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about the delay. Seb Bovino, planner of Kratzer Jones, represented the applicant. For orientation purpose, the top of the map is West Green Street. So north is up. My name is Seb Bovino, planner of Kratzer Jones, represented the applicant, and Nemtech Industries. We have two applications tonight in view, lot number 1 and lot number 2. If you don't mind, I'll describe both proposals at the same time. Even though they're separate applications, they are owned by the same company. The applicant is proposing to develop these two existing approved lots, lots number 1 and lot number 2, located at the corner of West Green Street and future road called Sepco Farm Drive. The address for this lot here is 25 Sepco Farm Drive. This one is 250 West Green Street. These two lots are served by public water and sewer. They are located in Industrial 1 zone. Lot 1 is 1.33 acres. Lot 2 is 1.12 acre. The minimum requirement in this zone is 20,000 square feet, which is 0.45 acres, so easily we exceed the requirements for lot area. The proposal is for a 10,800 square feet building at Lot 1 and 15,600 square feet on Lot 2. Lot 1 will be home to the business, which is a commercial and industrial equipment supplier company. And lot number 2 will be flex space for small contractors. Lot 1 will access the facility from the future road here, Sepco Farm Drive. Lot number 2 will have access off West Green Street. Both sites will have the appropriate lighting, landscaping, parking. All the notes and details, the appropriate notes and details are on the plans. The drainage is collected via a catch basin system. Through pipes will be taken down to the detention area, which is in the southeast corner of the property. This will be a common detention area, which will be also utilized by Lot 3 and Lot number 4. The applicant will construct that detention area to handle the zero increase in runoff, to handle the water quality and the volume associated with the stormwater runoff. We received staff comments from engineering and planning. We responded in writing. We revised the maps and provided the revised maps to the planning department. Hopefully they've been able to look at those. We provided a drainage report. At this point, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer. The applicant is here tonight in case you have any questions for the applicant.
Okay. I'll open it up to the commission. Any questions for Mr. Bovino?
Hi, Seb.
Hi.
Quick question about the retention pond. The retention pond's gonna be, it's gonna be built now for the 2 existing buildings. The third building's not planned yet. So how are we engineering a retention pond with something that we don't know that's gonna be built yet?
Oh.
I don't know if I'm asking.
We have, yes, I understand. You say, how
Kinda
can
like
you
building
plan?
on speculation almost.
How can you plan for the additional lots?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Well, this was part of an approved subdivision that we presented to the commission, and on that subdivision, we had proposed buildings, fictitious sizes, but they could increase. In that case, the pond will have to be adjusted to provide additional storage,
Okay.
which can be done.
So there's area to expand in the
Yes, we'll be
existing
able to
space?
expand. There's quite a bit of land back here in this area here.
Okay, good, thank you.
The current applicant, I believe, is buying the entire property. So he'll be able to control his own destiny in terms of what size building to put on and what size drainage detention area we'll build.
Excellent, all right, thank you, Seb. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? I had a quick question. Dave, when we met this morning, you said you were waiting for responses. You got the responses that you were waiting for and are satisfied with the answers?
For myself and engineering, I believe we were good. I can have Connor attest to that.
Okay,
Yeah, they took care of all my questions.
okay.
And then I'll take a look at the others.
Health and fire, say pending?
Yeah, you could stipulate those for sure.
Okay,
And water on the last one.
okay,
So there's no issue with stipulating those.
okay. All right, with that said, I'm all set.
Just
oh,
one question.
Go ahead.
I was just reading through the responses to the engineering department. I did see that there was a message in there saying that engineering approves of all responses and is satisfied, but also asks if you should raise the bottom of the spillway a few inches so that it holds the entire 25-year storm. But technically.
We did do that.
You did do that?
And provided the report.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody set? Okay. Seb, you're good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, did that just include item F, or is that going to be, you combined the two, right?
I combined the two.
All right,
It's
all
a,
right,
it's
so-
the same, two separate application.
Right.
About one property owner, two lots.
All right, so with that said, I'm looking for a motion to approve items E and F. Do we need them, can we combine them as well, Dave, or do we need them separate?
I do separate votes, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, so we'll start with item E. Do I have a motion to approve item E?
I'll make a motion to approve SPR 1908.
Oh, what's the-
Oh. Health, fire. Oh, okay. With the contingencies of health, fire, and water to be addressed prior to anything moving forward.
The water company sent a letter indicating that they approve of it, but it's fine.
We would accept that.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Dave, can you call the roll, please?
Commissioner McGuire?
Yes?
Commissioner Locks?
Yes.
Commissioner Coles?
Yes.
Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich?
Yes.
Commissioner Chaplinsky?
Yes.
And Chair Willowski.
Woloski's a yes, motion passes. Next item, F, Namtech Industries, SPR 1909. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve SPR 1909 with the stipulation that health, fire, and water be addressed.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Chaplinsky with a second. Okay. Can you call the roll, Dave?
Commissioner McGuire?
Yes.
Commissioner Locks?
Yes.
Commissioner Coles?
Yes.
Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
Commissioner Goodrich?
Yes.
Commissioner Chaplinsky?
Yes.
And Chair Willowski.
Woloski's a yes, motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, item G, request for 13,560 E&S bond release for 927, 935, and 951 Shuttle Meadow Road, Lavender Lane subdivision, item S number 1332. Ready for action?
Yeah, the site's all stable.
All right. We need a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve item S number 1332.
A second?
Second?
Mr. McGuire? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, motion passes. Administrative items?
None at the moment.
None
Mr.
at the
Chairman.
moment. Okay. Receipt of new applications?
No.
All right,
Nobody wants to work this holiday season, I guess.
all right. Just before we adjourn, our next meeting is December 2nd. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving. And my first meeting, thanks for putting up with my mistakes. I'll get better, I promise. All right, thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Steve.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Not for me, I'm asking for it.
So moved.
Okay, all right. We're adjourned, thank you.